everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator, hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psych Investigator. So, guys, there's so much to talk about, so much happening. And there's a few things to discuss today. The first thing I think we should talk about what's going on with the Pentagon and what's his name, Hegseth. Because clearly there's a lot of shady things happening related to these Venezuela situation, but also the stuff that keeps coming out about him and the pretty obvious sense that either he's on his way out or there's an enormous effort to kick him out. Okay. And of course, given everything that's happening, the Pentagon has a very big role to play, right? Whether it's on the Ukraine situation or the whole, removal of trash or whatever, we have to keep going. Okay, we have to keep going. And have to look. Okay. All right. So let's do protection. I like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of lights coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. I step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and the good, and so it is. All right, so let me go grab the news. So this is, if I go to the New York Times, I search Hegseth, and this is all the stuff that has come out about him. Okay, today is the 5th, December 5th, and we have for politics, wait, for politics, is that what is it said? No. Hegseth ordered a lethal attack, but not the killing of survivors. Pentagon investigator fought Hegseth for improper use of signal. Then we have Hegseth invoked the fog of war in a boat strike. What does that mean? Takeaways from the Pentagon's investigation on Hegseth's use of signal. So there's just a lot going on, okay, about him. And obviously, the situation is just very strange. He's a compromised person. We know that the whole thing about signal. That is not new, right? We know that he has used. Okay, so what's going on with Hegseth? Just double check that it's not muted. Okay. What's going on with Hegseth? So it's interesting. I think I've looked into him, not that I'm remembering, maybe last week or something like that. But today I see something that rings true here that I feel like I've seen close to before. So I see him being very nervous, and it's like chewing his nails, is very nervous. And then I see that there's earpieces for him, and that he's getting told what to do. Everything that he's doing, obviously, I don't think he's capable of making his own decisions. He does not know what he's doing. But it shows me that there's these earpieces, and then there's cables connected to all over the world. And I think it's possible that his handlers work in, foreign countries or members of the administration that are in touch with foreign countries, because I see all these foreign connections. And I see it, and then it shows me that, of course, all the people they put in place were the ones that were compromised, and they would do what they wanted. So they're, in fact, shells of people. They have nothing inside. They just receive information and follow the lead. Okay, so that's what is showing me, that he's there as a facade to fulfill the duties and the work, right? To do the work that he's supposed to do. But he has no real, it's not that he has no agency, right? It's just that he's just it's not a pawn either. He's a puppet, right? He's exactly a puppet. And he does as he is told. And again, it's all about him following. He knows that it's sort of like he, in a way, as awful as it sounds, because of what he was before. He was an anchor on Fox News. That's exactly the job that he's doing here, too. He has to play a role and he has to read from what he was told to read, right? He's a propaganda type of person. And of course, it's very, very damaging for us to have somebody like that. And that's essentially what's going on with him right now. Okay, so um, then the next question is to happen to Hegseth regarding, uh, let's see. So the next section is what is going to happen to Hegseth regarding one, the signal investigation, two, the attacks on boats at sea. Okay, so what is going to happen about this? Okay, so I see him very angry. The first question, right? Very angry. Just throwing the piece of paper. And then I see in the background an image of Trump with scissors ready to cut him if he gets too dangerous. But then I see Trump hearing from Moscow that they want him to stay. And because in a way, like I said, he's perfectly incompetent and that's what they want. That's very good for them. Okay. And so this is part one. Now, what about the attacks on the boats at sea? What's going to happen to him? Because he had the admiral speak to, uh, was it the Senate, I think? Right. So what's going to happen here? And okay, I see hands chopped. So he's becomes powerless. Why? Why? They want to know who gave the order and why. Because he was told. Distraction. Okay. Why did I see his hand being cut off? I see that the majority of people at the Pentagon want him out because the people that have military careers, right? And so what happens? And it funny, it shows me the blog of Terrence Goggin, right? The one who that writes about how the military is dealing with Trump and such. So, okay, tell me. It says that the information was leaked on many levels, right? Just to expose who he is. But I do see that when I asked him being cut off and all that, I see an image of like a rolling mattress, the very like schlocky. It's not even a mattress, it's like a foam thing that is below. And then he is like, it's like, the expression to roll them up. He was rolled up, like he was picked up. And then he's picked up with, like they all go into the same like mattress like image. And so they're rolled up together. It shows that it's not necessarily that he's removed before. Okay. All right. Now, the next question is, we asked about how he's okay. So I have a question about this person, Dan Discroll. Discroll, I think his name is. He's a classmate of JD Vance that was recently hired into a job. I think he's like I don't remember, it's Secretary of the Army, something like that. So he was sent on some negotiations, and I wonder if do they want to put him in his in okay, let's see. Those JD Vance want to replace Hegseth with Driscoll. Saying yes, but later. For now, leave him there. And I see that JD Vance is telling this man, Driscoll, Dan Driscoll, his name is, that their handlers, Russians or whatever, want him in place because he's like just a figure. He's a head, like a head figure. And then they could keep doing whatever they want in the background. Okay. So the answer is what if he wants to is yes, but later. Okay. And then will he succeed? Okay. Succeed. Will Vance succeed in replacing Hegseth? Later, I mean. In other words, the reason for the question is because it would show like if he were to be what's all their future together. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think either Vance or him are going to be in power in a short period of time. But let's see, will he? Again, this image of the scythe cutting also J. Vance's hands, so they're removed from power, is what I understand. Okay, wow, this is a time of truth. Okay, so interesting. Okay, so I got something about the moon. It's funny. I talked about Letitia James yesterday. It was a great, hopeful vision yesterday, and it showed the moon. The moon placed a big role. Placed? No. Um, played. The moon played a big role in yesterday's vision, and now it's playing a role here too with Hegseth. And also, so this is for the video right immediately after this one that well, I'm going to talk about this. The moon and there's a new document that came out today about the US new national security guidelines that sound exactly as if they came from the Kremlin. Okay. It is as bad as it sounds, but it's for the next video. But for now, I can look at a few cards just to see. I want to know about circumstances of Hegseth leaving because the vision said that he's probably going to leave with the whole entire administration, not necessarily before. Okay, but let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. So, what are the circumstances of Hegseth leaving? All right. Interesting because we have here this information. This is illusions and disinformation. So there's a lot of disinformation. He spreads this information. Now the Empress has to do with resources, but also women. Okay, so the Hermit, it's something that was hidden, that was done covertly. I hid the Hermit upside down. Okay. All right. So let's see this. Constancy. Sigh. Wow, misfortune. Building, building. That's right. That's right. For a long time now, here is disinformation for a long time, but also there's nothing that can be done anymore. Here is misfortune is good for us, right? Because it signals. Let's see, I got these new Lenormand cards just. So let's see here what's up there. Wow, it's historic, interesting. So the bear, it's a card of the boss, personal finances also. it's the symbol of Raf. Okay. So then we have here the fox, treachery, also a job, and here is change. So it's like the Russian job changes. He has to go. Okay, so the stork, it's interesting. Let me pull another card after this because the stork is a card of positive change, migration also. Oh, here it is, a child in the beginning with a woman. Okay, block the sun. Okay, that's right. So, all right, so interesting. Things change because now the sigh upside down, it's just there's nothing he can do. He's stuck. Just one more here. Okay, wedding deal. The people that he has deals with. So, all right. So what happens then? Who or what comes after Hegseth leaves? Offer, averting and ending. People unburdened. Stuff coming out, I guess. Oh, merchant business people. Lies. Waiting. Let's see. Some people talking. The allies opportunity. So it looks like he would be exposed. It's kind of interesting. Let me just see. That's right. Right. So here is business lies. So waiting for us to, it's coming soon. Okay. I've talked about these types of some of the cards these have similar imagery. So it's a person sitting at a balcony and it suggests that it's when you're on the lookout for something, it's coming soon, right? You're not just waiting, you're expecting something to come. So it's incoming. All right. So averting an ending by an ally, friend. Now, business is interesting. Business, foreign business. All right, so fortune, baby, deal, the beginning. They all have to leave, I feel like. So, yeah, it's interesting. When I try to find somebody, I just think the whole administration will probably leave, not just him. So, okay, so this is that. All right. All right. So, and just since he's involved in this, I have looked at it just the other day, but either a couple days ago or even yesterday. I don't remember anymore. So much happening, right? So, and then the Venezuela thing, right? How does this Venezuela situation end? Let's also ask. So how does the Venezuela situation end, right? Let's see, the offer. Emperor has to leave. It was funny, I tend to see this part as Putin. Okay, these are old stuff. All right, so let's see here. Child, beginning, ending of the emperor. Yeah. Money, a new person. Yes. Beginning. Here is see coming soon. Again, the card of I just talked about it. Enemy, waiting for enemy, expecting enemy. Here, ending of the enemy. Look, that's the Putin card. Ending of the enemy. And here is new. It's also even though this card for me personally tends to have a sort of negative connotation. Somebody who comes with it's like the guy who's it's like a love bombing type. Okay, it could also be an offer, but it's usually something short term. But it could be a knight in a shining armor, no. Offer, somebody coming in a horse, right? Maybe here is expecting somebody new. And here somebody has to leave. Money from allies. All right, so the beginning. Yeah, and honestly, the cards in the center suggest to me that Putin is involved in this because because that the Emperor card in this context. Now, frivolity, it's exactly the situation. I don't think it's that serious. They're making it out to be negative surprise gift. So there's money involved in this. Of course, there is. Okay. Oh, and it tells me also, I see the face of Putin, and then that one of their goals was to increase the oil prices if there is a tax in Venezuela inside, the oil region. So this is it for now. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, and I'll come back in a little bit.